All right, ma'am. So who do I have here with me today?
They call me the wild card.
The wild card. Would
they
you
know
like
who
to
I am.
elaborate why real quick, briefly?
Nope, they know why.
They know why. All right, that's cool. So you got an awesome dog here. Can I showcase your dog?
Sure.
Okay. It's a beautiful dog.
He's
All right, ma'am.
He's a good dog. He's a brat.
Or he's a good dog. I'm sorry. So I would love to know, wild card, what's your age and current living situation?
43 and in a tent in the bush.
Tents in the bush.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am.
Actually, I like it.
I bet, you know what?
I prefer the desert rather than here, but unfortunately, there's a certain group of people that like to go out and mess with the homeless out there, whether you have permission or not, you know.
Hey, I hear that a lot.
Yep.
What is it? I hear the whispers that there's somebody out here.
It's a huge group, and they're in every state.
And
They've
what
gotten
are
too big, and now
Yeah.
what they are starting to realize, I'm sure, is there's a group coming after them.
And what are they doing? Are they like hunting the homeless and displaced? Are they, you know?
It's hard to explain. It depends on the person.
Okay, it just depends on the individual on what they do.
Yeah. And there's also different groups. I mean, some are different than others. Some are, I guess, maybe on the lesser of the evils. I wouldn't call them good.
Yes.
But they think that they have a right into your life to spy and to try and make you go crazy.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll tell you what, like I told them from the beginning, I'll make them crazy before they make me crazy.
Yeah, I definitely, I know what I've heard what you're talking about many times before. This isn't the first time.
Right.
So what's a day in the life like out here for you? Wild
Actually,
card.
It just depends. And actually, I just laugh at that because that's what they started calling me.
Yeah.
I called myself anything. But no, just depends on my day, really.
Just depends on your day.
I mean, it's really not all like everybody chalks it up to be all horrible and everything. If we would just be left alone, you know. As long as you're not
100%.
stealing from people, like I prefer to at least scrap, or hey, I'll admit it, I panhandle here and there, but
Yeah.
I've been kind of in a spot is why. But I have
Well-
worked pretty much most of my life, believe it or not.
Yeah, you're a woman, and isn't it a little fearful being out here all by yourself, or do you have a significant other, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I have a significant other, but I'm a firm believer in the good Lord, and I'll go when He wants me to go. When it's His time for me, that's when I go, not
Yes,
when
ma'am.
anybody else has.
Yes, ma'am. And are you afraid out here at all? No.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong, you have some creepy nights at times. I mean, that's just a given. I'd be a liar to say otherwise.
Okay.
But no, like I said, I have faith.
For the
and
most
that's
part, you know how to
all I
handle
need.
yourself,
No.
and you carry yourself with respect, and usually gets you through, right?
I try to. I was pretty drunk the other night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
imperfect.
Yeah. And I always got to ask, you touched on stealing and people stealing. Why is it that the homeless or displaced have a knack with stealing credentials, things like your
It's
ID and
because
social
it's
security
very
card?
simple. It's because they got a bad name with it. How can they be making it without a job? Let's face it. In just about every kind of, what would you say, like a...
Place.
Like no level, like the homeless to the poor, kind
To
of
the rich,
to the like the.
Every society.
I'm just saying, basically, you have your thieves, you have your regular people who work. I mean, it's just that the homeless get a bad name, and it's kind of hard also when people won't give you any kind of credit at all as a person, and they try and take everything like bathrooms away. You can't even sit down for 5 minutes, and
Facts.
this is Arizona. And I'm
Yes,
sorry,
ma'am.
but when it's
Yes,
117.
Yes,
I think
ma'am.
that's when people have just gone too far against us.
I do too.
When you can't even be, I don't know how many of them go to church now, because I bet a lot listening to this probably go to church. And where are the good Samaritans?
Yes, ma'am. I
Because
agree.
I see a lot more of them actually. And don't get me wrong, they are out there, but I'm saying I see a lot of these, these hypocritical judgmentals out there that just really want to just act like their shit don't stink, and we're just the horrible threat of the world.
And it's really not true. I've met some of the
Anybody
most.
with common sense knows that you
Yeah,
judge a
yeah.
person. You don't judge anybody anyway, but you don't judge a book by its cover. You get to know somebody, and if people can't do that anymore, then they've gotten too lazy and they might as well just sit in their closets.
Man, that was really well said. I mean, that was so well said. It almost left me speechless. I mean, I feel like the world has forgotten about humanitarianism and how to be like humane again. You know,
Nobody comes out and says, "I'm sorry, why are you sitting here?" or "I can't have you here."
how
Or
are
they
you
just go
doing?
right to calling cops, and everything is just turned
Yes,
into
ma'am.
a cracked out world.
Isn't it crazy?
It is.
I mean, is there what are ways? Is there any way that you think could stop that, or is that just are we at a lost cause now?
If people don't get their heads out their butts, we're at a lost cause.
Yes, ma'am.
But people start using their brains again and maybe stop being such hypocrites. And like I said, I'm not talking about everybody. There are the good
There's
people out
few,
there.
yeah,
But
good.
yeah, it's gotten pretty sad. You know, it used to be like, you'd see like a decline in humanism in like, 5-10 years. Now it's gone to like a year, months, or you just see it just get worse and worse.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty sad, amazing world.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, you're just sad, but you're just amazed that you don't understand it. That's
Yeah,
all.
it's-
And I'm
it's-
talking too much because I already told you I wasn't feeling good today. You gotta get-
Yeah. Let me first I want to say thank you so much for doing this little brief update with me.
Right.
I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about that law that passed briefly, real quick?
Is it the same one we were talking about?
Yeah, just the
thing?
urban camping. How do you
I
feel
think
about
it goes
it?
exactly with what we were just talking about.
Yep.
You can't even go to a park. I mean, if you
Yeah.
look nice enough, like you're at work and you go and you read a book and you fall asleep, I'm sure they leave you alone.
Yeah.
But you can't, be somebody who might not look like they're right off the job, so they must be homeless. And if they're sleeping, arrest them,
Yeah.
Come on.
It's crazy.
Where's everybody's heads gone?
Yeah, they're awful. And then my
Pretty
last
sad when the adults are acting like 2-year-olds.
Yes, ma'am. But to touch on, I got two things and then we're done, ma'am.
Okay, thank
You
goodness.
also said that there's no restrooms. That's so true. Is it like that where you stay, or is it just like that in Phoenix?
Well, honestly, it just depends on the business. It's just like any person, there's good
Yeah.
people that'll let you use the restroom still, but
Yeah.
people are just closing up their help to people like quicker and quicker every day, it seems like.
Yep. All right. And then the last question, ma'am, for you is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years from now, if you can think out that far?
Dead, hopefully.
Oh, man, don't say that.
I'm joking.
I know.
No, seriously. No, honestly, I don't know. It just depends. Let's
You don't
face it,
think
I'm
out that far?
43, I'm a little older. I don't have huge plans, but I mean, I'd hope to get a job and start working something again.
Yes,
I've been kind
ma'am.
of bored without that whole thing. I was mad at the state for a while,
Yeah.
and I figured if they were going to do this and that to me, I wasn't going to fucking pay their taxes anymore.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Makes sense.
But let's face it, you got to have a job, so I'm kind of having to crack on that one a little.
Okay, well, I want to thank you so much for this interview. It was amazing.
No
Wild
problem.
card. I hope next time that I see you, I can get an update and it'll be a hand up situation, and you're doing better than you are today. Thank you so much,
Sorry, I
ma'am.
had the flu.
Yeah,
Wasn't
it's
a very
okay.
good
No
talker.
problem, ma'am. Thank you. You have a good day, okay?
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye. Is that all right?